Good morning. So, I'm going to try to get through this. I'm trying to say without crying, but the tears are already falling. I'm thinking about those children. So much has happened recently that I've been so heartbroken. Try not to watch the news as you got to watch the news. You know, you need to know what's going on around you. Everything's not true, but you need to know what is true, what is happening, what is being said universally around the world and in your state. You know, just last week I was grieving because another black women, and I'm not saying just black women because it's not just black women, but it's more proportionately black women that are being killed by their husband or their boyfriend, their ex-boyfriend or their ex-husband or their about to be spouse. And I mean, most of them are young, and I know what I went through, and God saved me. Anyway, with every story, it's just so heartbreaking how these men, what happened to them. Nonetheless, this week it's the news came out yesterday about the 3 9-year-olds in the school. I mean, when does it stop? And then not long before that, you know, I was grieving. Was it a month ago? Was it Tyree? You know, with the cops constantly killing, you know, young men that could be my brother, my uncle, or my father. And then they even begin to do it to black women. It's like, when does it stop? I know that Satan comes to kill, steal, destroy. The Bible tells us that. You know, and God, people are quick to blame God for all the hatred and evil in the world. But you have to remember there's a spiritual war going on. It's evil comes from Satan. And Christians have a part to play in it. We have to go to war in prayer. We have to cover. We have to get in these schools, bring prayer back. We have to recognize when things is happening. You have even mothers now. Report came out not long ago. She killed like 3 of her children. And her old sister had done the same thing. I think they said like years before. When people have mental health, what do we do? I mean, do you just leave them with children? And I mean, do we just ignore the signs of the mental health? What do we do? America is in a crisis. But our children, women, innocent people of color, race, religion, what happened to? I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. The post I did yesterday said my heart is broken, and it truly is. I tell you one thing, God loves children so much. He loves all mankind. And these things happen in America. It's a disgrace to God. It's a disgrace to the foundations that America was founded upon. I don't know if we're in judgment or what, but we need God to raise up Christians that will begin to fight against what we see, band together. I see people yesterday on the news, every channel, like me, asking, what can we do? How do we stop these things? And I'm so glad there were some reporters saying, yes, we're grieving over what happened to the kids yesterday, but we're still grieving about all the black people that was shot in that state, in the store, in the grocery store. We're still grieving at all the innocent men, black men and women that are shot in their bags or broken into their homes or are stopped in front of their homes, questioned like they don't belong. We're grieving over all of that. And so I believe there's like a level of trauma that the world is walking around with, that black race is walking around with, that black women are walking around with. Let me tell you something. I've been single over 20 years. Over 20 years. And oftentimes, I've went back and forth with whether or not I wanted to be married. There was a time where I did. And part of me still does. But when I see these stories with these women and their husbands, some of them killing them and killing their kids, their whole household, their families, pets, I don't live by fear. And I do believe that, I don't know, I'm not even going to go into that, but it's these things are traumatizing. We have to do something. People of the 80s that graduated high school remember good times. Remember the good old fashioned R&B music. Nothing like today with all of the evil in it, the lust in it, the trauma, the gang violence. Let's not forget to mention the gang violence, gang activity. At what time do you grow up? At what point do you grow up and realize that gang banging it's not a mature thing, it's not a grown man thing, it's not a family thing, it's not a community thing? When do you grow up? And you kill other people's families and parents over money, over drugs. At what point does life matter again? Human sex trafficking, women, children, these men that do this, auction off. Watch, if you haven't watched Caged No More, watch that movie. I think Lisa Arnold produced it. I met her in 2013 at an African festival when I did my stage play of A Stand Against Youth Bullying and Suicide. I have another film I want to write, but not yet. Watch that movie to see them people, how organized it is, how they auction off these girls and women, how they treat them like they're just a piece of, I don't know, like a car, like you auction off cars. Like you're just property. We're not property. We are 3 in 1. God created us in a body. We have a soul. We have a spirit, mind, will, emotions. Would you do this to your own mother, your own daughter, your own sister, your aunts, your neighbors, your best friends, your nieces? And if you would, have mercy on you. And women that are in these organizations, controlling these women, bringing these women in, caging these women up, locking them up, and you men that go in there and rape these girls day after day, night after night, and then go home to your wives and your jobs or whatever. And I know it's even people of high profile that I'm just tired. This goes beyond the song that Kelly Price sang about tired. It goes beyond that type of tired. And as a Christian and a minister, it hurts even hard because my job is always to encourage people. But when you're heartbroken and all you see, it takes a lot to get me there, a lot. I can look past the hurt and still encourage people. And I will, even through this. But I'm hurting. I love children. I'm tired. I know you are too. But what I'm saying is, let's get up and fight. Let's do something. Start with prayer.